How y'all doing out there, ladies and gentlemen? It's Dennis Holmes, the Ignorant Thinker Podcast. I'm here to talk Philly sports. Got my guy from Philly in the building. Miles Johnson is in the house, aka MJ. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm glad. First of all, Miles, I'm glad you're here.
Man, Ignorant Thinkers podcast. I'm glad to be on here. Long overdue. Love,
Definitely long
love
overdue.
your work. Covering Eagles, Sixers, big Philly sports guy. Been supporting me for a minute. I'm
Yeah,
happy to be on here to support you.
yeah. I remember you told me you was going to school, and I think you have Morehouse.
Yeah, yes, I'm right here. Morehouse, right in Atlanta. I'm actually in Philly now for the break. And then I actually be going back to Atlanta around like the 29th to 30th for a couple of days. And I'll be back here for a little bit. So, I'm trying to see if I can go to a Sixers game while I'm here. Or hey, heck, if once the Eagles clinch this number one seed, I'm trying to come back, to Philly and go to Lincoln Financial Field and
Gonna
see Jalen
freeze.
Hurts and them boys get it done.
Yeah, you gonna freeze your ass off. I'm gonna let you know that right now. It's cold. It's cold as hell down there, but I would definitely go too because the experience is worth it. But it's cold as hell down there. But speaking of Philly sports, let's start off. Let's start off with the Eagles. What was your expectations going into the season?
Uh, so I thought we would be a playoff team, uh, but I had never expected this. I'll be honest. Now I thought that Jalen Hurts, so he would take a step. I thought that with the addition of AJ Brown, that his numbers would do better. Similarly to how when Josh Allen, when he was a rookie, and then he got Stephon Diggs, you saw his numbers jump up. So I thought the same. I thought Jalen Hurts would improve, but he's even surprised me with how well he's throwing the football right now. Hy Roseman did a phenomenal job constructing this roster, and he did get a lot of slack over these past couple of years with the questionable moves that he's made. Talking about that Jalen Rager move and a host of others, but nonetheless, the defensive line is clicking, offensive line is clicking. I haven't seen it be this good since 2017. And I'll even argue that they're better than 2017, especially the defensive line, because they're young. Got Hargrave, Brandon Graham is still there, like a little veteran right there. Josh Sweat, Jordan Davis, he's coming back. He's getting back in the groove of things.
Yeah.
You got TJ Edwards. He's just everywhere. So I love this Eagles roster, and top to bottom, I think they're the best in the NFL. But again, going into this season, I definitely didn't expect this, but I thought they would win the division though. I didn't expect them to be in position right now to almost clinch, will to clinch the number one seed.
Number one seed, yeah. Clinching the number one seed is very surprising me. I'm not gonna lie. Them getting in this position didn't, really surprise me like that. Like them getting into this position is something. I'm on fault. Them clicking like they're clicking doesn't really surprise me. Them getting the number one seed does surprise me. But AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts clicking on the first year, something it's kind of like it's a Philly thing. Like we got T.O. and McNabb that first year, they was clicking. We got Alshon Jeffrey with Carson Wentz that first year, they was clicking. You know what I mean? So I wasn't surprised to see that. I was, more thinking down the road, like, hopefully this is continued success because usually the wide receiving quarterback have an issue late. That's what I was thinking. But I thought we'd get to the second round of playoffs. That's what I said. So we should get to the second round of playoffs. That was my whole thing.
Yeah.
But now it's like we already at the second round of playoffs. We win this weekend. That's just the way it looks. Jalen Hurts being the MVP, I ain't having an MVP conversation. Because
You
my
don't.
whole thing, and I kind of still am kind of glad that people are writing them off because MVPs don't win Super Bowls. Last guy that won the MVP in the Super Bowl in the same season, Kurt Warner. So that's one of the reasons why
Mm.
I was like, nah, I don't know. That was what I was like nervous about. But besides that,
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
only other thing that I don't like is the linebacking core. Like you say, TJ Edwards is everywhere. He's everywhere, but in the backfield making a play.
Mm.
That's my whole thing about it. Like N'Kobe Dean came in against the Titans. I think his fourth play, he was in the backfield making a tackle. And I was like, damn, why can't we get our linebackers to do this more often? But like I said, I don't
I do,
exactly
but
know.
I think even the our secondary even makes up for it as well.
Yeah, they do.
In terms of got Max in there, and I'm happy these guys are healthy because it feels like prior to this season it was like Maddox, all these guys, uh, they was injured and brought in CJ Gardner Johnson,
Right.
Bradbury's,
Bradbury's been a great addition.
mm, Slay gonna do what he gotta do. So,
Right.
uh, so I think the secondary makes up for it, but it comes with see. We got there's not this is a great roster because you got Jalen Hurts on a rookie contract, and then you're able to just surround him with a bunch of talent, especially now before he's gonna demand, $100 million contract or probably way more than that with how the cap is going, but then you still have picks. It's not like you traded a lot of picks to get AJ Brown. You only traded a first round pick, so you still have other picks this year. And then Eagles come next year. If Howie plays this right, they can end up being even better because then Jalen Hurts has another year under his belt where he's, that guy. He's that franchise guy. He's going to be more comfortable with obviously AJ Brown, but especially Devontae Smith. I think moving forward, if the Eagles want to have sustained success, if Devontae Smith can take that next step, this could be like a team that are seeing in the NFC Championship year in and year out, like
Now,
battling
it's
up.
kind of crazy that you said that because Philly sports guy this offseason went to a training camp, Eagles training camp, and he said, I see the Eagles in the NFC Championship game.
Mm.
And I didn't I love him. Philly sports guy. We done been to games together. I done interviewed Philly sports guy. I see him all the time. I didn't fully believe it, but I see where his hype was at.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, he was right. You know what I mean? Like this team is that explosive.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'll be seeing your takes on how you be saying, certain things about, last year you were saying things about Jalen Hurts. And this year you were saying how he could take a step and how he took a step and everything got better. And it goes from time to time. And I've been one who has been critical of my head coach, Nick Sirianni.
Yep, I was too initially as well.
Yeah, I'm very critical of Nick Sirianni. I always said he had the coolest T-shirts in the world, but I don't know if he's the guy. Nah, he's definitely won me over. Let me get that out the way. He's won me over. I still say he's from South Philly, but he won me over. That's what I always say. He's definitely from South Philly, but he won me over.
Hey, I mean, like his press conference, his initial one, it's ironic too because I'm stutter, but he was stuttering, and I was like, this guy, he don't seem, like he really know what he's doing. But it was also I had a bitter taste in my mouth because we let go with Doug Pearson, first coach ever to get us the Super Bowl, and I still believe to this day with the roster that we have now, Doug Pearson would do just as well. Like, I mean, you saw the roster that we had, and was it 20? What 20? Yeah. Even after that, post the years when Carson Wentz kept getting injured, and then Jalen Hurts had to take over for 4 or 5 games. That team was not good, and we really did like a complete 180 with our roster. Great drafting, great trade. Still can't believe the Titans even thought about trading got AJ Brown. I mean,
they
yeah,
fired
yeah,
they fired the GM after that.
I'm like, that is stupid. But then I believe it was the Cowboys again, ironically did us a favor by letting us get Devontae Smith when the
Yeah.
Giants were about to get Devontae Smith. They were about to get him. They were out of that 12 or 13, and we traded up with the Cowboys and ended up getting Devontae Smith. I still can't believe against Dallas, Eagles week, Eagles Dallas week. I'm not Dallas Eagles Dallas week, but still can't believe they let us, get a guy in Devontae Smith. They about to rule that for the next.
Well, I mean, we traded with the Cowboys a lot on draft day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We made the trade. We went and got Dallas Goedert. They got Van Der Esch. We made another trade with them. I think that's how we got Deshaun Jackson. We made another trade. That's how we got Deshaun Jackson. Like we made trades with the Cowboys on draft day. Like people say, oh, you ain't supposed to trade within your division, but NFC East is the greatest division of all time. If people who don't believe it, who can count the Super Bowls. Right now. Every team in our division has a Super Bowl, and we have the most Super Bowls out of any division.
Oh, we do?
In fact, yes, we do. Fact check it. We do. Yeah, we are the greatest division of all time. No division has more Super Bowls than us. So they can say what they want.
I'm about to talk my ish then. I'm about to talk, oh yeah.
Yeah. You can fact check it. Trust me, I've been talking it. People have been trying to Google me and all that. They'll go even deeper. They'll be like, oh, well, y'all ain't got the most championships. Well, we wasn't around that long. So we're not gonna have the most championships. But as the Super Bowl era, we have the most Super Bowls out of any division in the NFL. Greatest, as when they keep saying the NFC least and all that, they only say that about us because we're the greatest division in the NFL. As you can see, the NFC South is terrible this year. Nobody's saying nothing.
Nothing. Pete. I mean, the Bucks could win their division with a losing record.
It's probably gonna happen.
It's that bad. It's that bad.
Definitely that bad. But all right, let's get into it, man. This Jalen Hurts is injured. Minshew Mania is on the loose. How do you feel about this game coming up Saturday, 4 p.m.?
Man, I am happy, more than happy, that Jalen Hurts is sitting and Gardner Minshew is a starting quarterback.
Okay.
This is the only way to go because you don't want to have it to where guy in Jalen Hurts is, maybe he's like his shoulder is 75%, 80%. If it's not 100%, I don't want you playing. And clearly, Jalen Hurts, he's a tough guy. Like Sirianni said, toughest guy he knows. But you got to save him from himself. He should not play this weekend. I'm not saying rest him for the whole entire season because he's still got to get some games on his belt. Heck, once we beat the Cowboys this week with Gardner Minshew, which I believe we will do, we'll clinch a bye and all that. But you can pick him, I would say, if he can play against the Saints. Well, matter of fact, if he can play against the Giants, because they could possibly be a team that we play in the playoffs, possibly. I bet that's if they win, a playoff game. But maybe I would say have him play like last game of the season. But let him get his rest. Yeah, and again, he did fairly a good job even after getting injured in the third quarter of the Bears game. Talk about how he dropped it on a dime for AJ Brown over top of his head. So, and still made running plays, ran for a touchdown. So, but I think he was also high. I think he was also off like adrenaline at that point. Now it's probably sore. Now he's probably hurting a little bit. But nonetheless, with Jalen Hurts, I'm glad that he is sitting because this is a game that we don't need. Like we can win as long as we win one game out of our three. We clinched the number one seed. As long as so we're straight. And I like to see what Gardner Minshew has to can put forth this weekend. Because I'll be honest, I don't fear the Cowboys with us having Gardner Minshew. I simply don't. They lost to the Jaguars.
Preach.
It's not, and Gardner Minshew it's not like again, obviously Jalen Hurts is that guy, but Gardner Minshew isn't like, a scrub. Like this isn't a guy that doesn't know what he's doing. Isn't a guy that like doesn't know what he's doing, anything like that. So I think that it'll show some. It'll be a time for Gardner Minshew to show what he got. And heck, with all these teams that could be out of a quarterback, this could be his time to shine as well. So and look for that. So I'm definitely for Minshew mania. I support Jalen Hurts sitting down this week, saving from himself. And let's see what Gardner Minshew can do. I think he'll get this dub.
I'm with all that. We also have the return of Dallas Goedert. One thing I always been saying to the Cowboy fans, I've been saying this to them for a while. Ever since they lost that playoff game to the Rams, the year the Rams went to the championship, not last year, but the year the Rams went to the championship, y'all don't have enough beef up the middle to help y'all stop the run. And I believe that Miles Sanders is going to run wild on the Dallas Cowboys. That is my prediction. Him and Dallas Goedert are going to kill for the Eagles this week. That is my prediction. Another thing about Dallas is, if you do things right, if they'll make it a game because they're home, so they'll make it a game. But like I said, if you do things the right way, the Dallas Cowboys will fold. This is what it is. You do things the right way, they'll fold. And we're definitely tougher than them up front in the interior.
Exactly.
Offense and defense.
More consistent as well.
Yes.
Much more consistent. Our
Much more consistent.
They might have the star power in Micah Parsons, but consistently, I'm taking our guys over Dallas any day of the week.
Yeah. That Hassan Reddick has been a great addition. And he's from Camden. Been a great addition. Played for Temple too.
Yeah. He it's no way he'd suck. He give me Philly. The way he'd suck.
Yeah.
And it's like we got a guy in Jordan Davis. I think my prediction is as well, giving predictions, I think that he will have a coming out party in the playoffs this year.
Jordan Davis?
Yeah. He was an IR. He was an IR earlier this year, so injured and all that. He's getting his legs under him now. I think in these last 3 games, he's gonna start to heat up, and then come playoff time, especially if we get a bye, he gets more rest. I can see him having a come out party and be like, "Oh, this Jordan Davis, he better be, a force for years to come."
Okay. I'm hoping he is, because I doubted him. I'm not gonna lie to you, I doubted him. People was like, "Yo, he's a sure pick." I'm like, I don't see it, man. He takes too many plays off. You know what I mean? He just be sitting there, just be leaning on people. I'm like, I don't see it. And you know what I mean? And he got drafted to the Eagles. And I was like, oh, shit. Now I got to really watch him. It's like, At first I was like, yeah, somebody else will get him, and then I'll watch him. Now I got to really watch him. And you know what? He's been in there, not every play, but when he gets in there, he does his thing. He's in rotation. So, like I said, I just want to see him keep his motor going. I had motor issues with him. I want to see him keep his motor going.
Yeah, I do think with the motor thing, I think especially that like playoff atmosphere and like being around those like championship, guys and tested guys in the playoffs with Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox, they'll be guys to really be able to push him, let him know, what it takes to get to that next level, especially like a playoff setting, because that's when everything's going to be intensified. And I definitely look for Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox to, show him the way, especially during playoff time too.
That's okay. That's good. Yeah, that's my thoughts on the Eagles. All right, so we should win. Yeah, we need to get to the playoffs. I don't know, man. I might have to spend some money to go get a ticket as well. Might have to put it on Afterpay, like the girls told. Put it on Afterpay.
Yeah.
But let's get to these 76ers who have won 6 straight, if I'm not mistaken. It's been 6 straight?
It has.
6 straight. And I've seen something in the paper today. This is the Metro. I read the Metro today. I usually read the Retro every day. Let me get that out the way. The guy said we should extend Tobias Harris because he's shooting plus 40% from the three, and he's averaging 17 points a game. He said, don't sit there and think about the money. Think about how he has become a true piece to the Maury ball. He's a great Maury ball piece guy. This is what they said. Now, I think his name is Terry Barnett. Hope I ain't messed his name up. Terry Barnett wrote this piece, and I read the whole thing. And at first I looked at it and I said, he must have wrote this while he was on some edibles or something. There ain't no way in hell. He sat there and said we should keep Tobias with all these better people out here.
Hey, Tobias is helping us in 2 ways. The first way, he's helping us win games when Embiid, James Harden, Tyrese Maxey were out, and he's continuing to have, some very, very good play right now. And he's also helping us because he's making his trade value look very, very good. And he is not a guy that the Sixers should be extending. Just play. I mean, look, if they have the opportunity right now to get under him and go ahead and trade him and get some real good pieces, because this is probably the highest Tobias Harris stock is going to be. If Daryl Morey, great GM, if he can go ahead and shop Tobias Harris, which I believe he is doing right now, or at least in his head, he's trying to think, all right, who can I package to get some guys that will complement and be, you're going to need some shooters, you're going to need some 3-and-D guys like DeAnthony Melton. You're also going to need a guy. I'll go look at them at, I would say a guy like Jordan Clarkson really get a bucket, but I do like the way that Shake Milton has been playing. Just want to be more consistent. But they was able to do a trade for Jordan Clarkson. The Jazz. The Jazz, they're trying to get Victor Wanyama. They're looking to that. So they might trade some of the good pieces. I don't know. So that could be some, but definitely I want to get some more shooters around and Embiid and Harden, some 3-and-D guys. And you can use this moment we had with Tobias Harris when he's playing the best he's ever played in the past, I say 2 years, to trade him when he's at his highest value right now, because he's playing it really good, but to extend him, nah.
Okay, here's my thought. You say trading for Jordan Clarkson. I didn't think of that. Good trade value. I say put him and Shake Milton together, and I guess maybe another piece. I don't know if it was a draft piece, whatever, and call the Bulls up to see if you get DeMar DeRozan. That's what I say. They looking like they don't like him there. I don't know how, but that's what they looking like.
Then he can buy into that six. If he really buy into that 6-man role, you got something.
DeMar DeRozan playing a 6-man?
Yeah, you wouldn't. I feel like a guy DeMar. You don't feel like he needs the ball in his hands more. You got guy in James Harden. I don't know if they complement each other that well. And and DeMar DeRozan don't shoot threes.
Right, but he shoot twos though, and he hit them. That's what I'm saying. Like he over. Still, I think was he over 50% hitting them too. He hit them twos. He hit them. He'll put up 40 points and 2 points.
It will, but I think he's more of a rhythm player. It is an indictment on him a little bit. I don't think it'll work. But I think it's also an indictment on James Harden, because
I think James Harden would adapt.
You think James Harden would adapt?
I think James Harden would adapt. I think it'll be a great adaptation for James Harden. I think he'll adapt because I think actually DeMar DeRozan will become the closer for us.
Oh, wow. Oh wow.
because that's one thing that we've been missing for since Jimmy left. I'm gonna be honest. Since Jimmy left, that's one thing we've been missing. We haven't had a true closer since Jimmy left.
Yeah, no, that's a fact, but I don't trust DeMar to be that dog. Jimmy a dog.
Yeah, Jimmy is a dog. You ain't gonna get that every day.
Cause look, you talking about even when he was on the Heat with Brian, against Brian, he lost, but he put a dang good fight.
A damn good fight.
DeRozan, I mean, he was shooting fadeaways from 20 feet. He was spinning the ball with his right hand. I mean, he was playing with him.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. That's the only thing with DeMar. But I think
guess if you talking about a characteristic guy, I think we get the same guy. Whether you get DeMar Tobias, it's still the same guy on characteristics. But I think with the fact that DeMar shoots so well with them 2-pointers, and he can take the rest off of Embiid when he takes the game off, or James Harden. And my favorite Sixer is Maxey. That is my favorite Sixer.
That's my guy. That's my guy. I saw him at the Rump Classic of the summertime.
Okay.
Energy, it was just like rocking. Like it was, Marquis Morris and the twins, they was there.
Okay.
But LaSalle was packed, and you just felt it. Like it's Maxey, like the city loved him. The city loved him.
That's my favorite guy, Maxey. People always say, "What Sixer do you think should not be traded?" I'd be like Tyrese Maxey. Everybody else could go.
See, it's crazy because in the summertime, I had a video. I was like, I would trade. It was around that Donovan Mitchell news. I was like, hey, I would trade Donovan Mitchell for Tyrese Maxey, give him the opportunity. And I seen the way Donovan Mitchell's playing. No indictment on Tyrese Maxey, just the fact that Donovan Mitchell's balling. If that was on the table, it would have been a shame that we didn't pull that trigger. I'm just saying. But anything else, but Tyrese Maxey is amazing. He is amazing.
Very, very good player. I think one of the best games he had. I was actually at this game. Sixers versus Memphis. That was like his coming out party right there. It was me and my brothers, my cousin, my uncle. We all went to go see it. It was like his coming out party. My uncle even said, he's like, we seen him grow up another notch right there. It was a good game. Embiid wasn't there nothing. We had no James Harden, Tyrese Maxey, and Tobias Harris, and Andre Drummond. That was a good game.
Definitely.
But yeah, those are my thoughts on. I don't think we should extend Tobias. As you said, this is going to be the highest trade value you ever had. Like I said, I'm cool. I'm cool with even getting Kuzma. Straight up.
That's a great trade.
I'm cool with getting Kuzma straight up. I've been cool with getting Kuzma for about 3 years now.
But then I wouldn't see from the Wizards side of it, it works perfectly for us. For the Wizards side, you have a young guy in Kuz that honestly has the ability to be an all-star versus a guy in Tobias Harris with, yes, he's playing very well, but you know who he is.
Being all-star.
And so he'll be that in between a starter and an all-star, but he ain't going past that all-star mark with Tobias Harris. So I think in terms of a trade for Tobias and Shake, you're gonna see a contender that is looking to get over the hump. So heck, you might see, what about Tobias Harris and Shake, Jeremy Grant?
Jeremy Graham. You think you gotta give up that much for Jeremy Graham?
Up in Portland, I think because of his age.
I think Anthony Simmons, you might gotta get that much up for.
Just for Tobias and Shake. I think
Anthony,
he would have at least a pick or two. Not he have at least 2 picks.
Anthony Simmons.
Okay. He's shooting very efficiently, at least for his size at his age. I think he got like 24. Offensively, he's been Dame's best running mate.
All right. Jeremy Grant.
I mean, and there's some other contenders too. So, but yeah, I think a contending team they'll be looking to definitely like get. Tobias will be a great addition on like a team, that wants to get over the hump. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go off right now. Who's in the standings? Like he'd be a good addition on Memphis. Heck, the Suns. Even
I think Memphis is set, but they line up. I think Memphis is set.
They got that young core going well right now.
Right. Another team. I actually like watching certain young teams. Like I like watching Orlando, and I like watching Houston. Like they played the other day. That was a good game. Because I just want to see, as a GM, like what's next? What do you do with these young superstars? You got Apollo, you know what I mean? Paulo Banchero, and then you got Jalen Green. What's your next thoughts on how to surround these 2 superstars so they get better?
Yeah.
Because I ain't gonna say superstars, I'm gonna say stars. They're not superstars, they're stars. Because I always say it's levels, superstar, all-star, star, starter.
I think they got some good going on. They got something good going on over there. I think this season, the main objective is to see Jalen Green grow, to see Kevin Porter Jr. to grow.
Okay.
And Jabari Smith to grow.
That look like he looked like
at the same time lose games so you can give it to Wanyama. Because if you got those 3 guys, Wanyama, now you're really cooking some. But that I'm looking to see who's going to be that leader for them. Can it be Jabari? And he's the youngest. Is it going to be Jalen Green?
It should be Jalen Green because it should be his team. But they need some veteran leadership. They don't need a lot. They just need a veteran leader to go over there and help. And I think there'd be a young dynamic team. Like if they could find a way to steal a Pascal Siakam or something, if they could find a way to steal something like that, you know what I mean? Or maybe they could get him a Jimmy Butler. Well, they wouldn't get Jimmy Butler, but
they're going to get Jimmy.
Yeah. Trae Young is now on the trade block, which is weird.
Yeah, he's this and ain't nothing better happen with that. Like,
is that it? Well, you go to school down there,
yeah.
So you get first hands on the buzz. Like, I'm tired of hearing about the John Collins unhappiness down there. Like, is that just talk or is it real?
No, like they want to shop him, and like I think with the emergence of DeAndre Hunter, who they gave a $80 million contract to. Again, shout out to Philly. He went to Friends Central, right outside of Philly and Wynwood, across the street, City Line Ave. I think with the emergence of him and the fact that you're gonna have to surround shooters around DeJounte Murray and Trae Young for them to ultimately reach their fullest potential. John Collins is kind of like, he's like the odd fit in that case. And so, again, while he's young, is playing fairly well, you gotta use his time to trade him. So I definitely feel like they definitely looking towards that. Now, some could look at it a different way and be like, well, hey, he's young, he could develop with Trey Young, and DeJounte Murray develop a shot. But I think him and Trey might be clashing a little bit. I think him and Trey might be clashing a little bit.
I
Man,
think so
might
too.
not. I think because again, where is this? It's where there's smoke, there's fire, and if I think maybe with John Collins, he's like, I'm not gonna reach my fullest potential
Being here, yeah.
being here, and so
Maybe they put a trade package together. John Collins and what's boy name the center? Clinton Capella, and maybe a whatever pick they got left and send it for DeAndre Ayton.
oh, you would give actually you said John Collins and Capella
And Capella.
For who again? For
Ayton. DeAndre Ayton.
you got something you can. I like that. I gotta see how the contracts would match though. You got Capella got a big contract. You got Collins with a big contract. So they have to match.
Or they might have to give another player, Phoenix.
They would give, and then they're not going to give Mikal Bridges. So
no, they ain't getting no Bridges.
They
might give him off the bench. What's his name? Number 15, Cameron Payne.
They might, but he don't have no crazy. I know Capella got at least $80 million contract.
Mm.
At the bare minimum, it's got to be more than that. I know what they paid him. John Collins got paid too, so. But I think you can trade Collins but keep Capella. I think Capella is a good rim protector. I would still keep him, but I think it is a little redundant to have both Collins and Capella on the same team. I think it's either one or the other. You can't have both of them in your starting lineup. And I think last thing too, in terms of insight on the Hawks, Dave McMillan, he has kind of lost the team, and you're gonna see that if they don't get together, it's how it goes. I don't think it's right, but you gotta get some results. Last year, the Hawks just made the play-in. This year, again, you're in that play-in. Nate McMillan, if it looks like they're again hovering around 500 going to the All-Star break, he's going to be in the hot seat. He's probably in the hot seat right now, especially if the superstar player in Trey Young is feuding with him.
Yeah, because I remember they that's right. He did take some time off, and they went ahead and revealed that. And then he was upset about it that it got out to the media.
And you could think these stars are very tactical, and they use these reporters and social media to their advantage. So Trey Young is possibly sending a message to the Hawks and be like, no, I might want to leave. So go ahead and handle what you got to handle with Nate McMillan and give me a new coach. That could be something too. And if you don't give me a new coach, I'll get a trade. So definitely got to think about that too. But it's definitely some feud right there. And winning mask everything. So I think when they were winning, everybody cool. Once you up around 500, somebody say something you don't like. Like what? And then you start to snap, but because y'all losing. So y'all coming off of back-to-back games, back-to-back L's. So winning masks everything, and the more you lose, especially with a star player who's saying guys like John Morant, top C right now. Yeah. He's saying Zion, top C right now.
Right.
and
Luca.
Jason Tatum, like Jalen Brown, Donovan Mitchell. Like it's a bunch of these young guys that's killing it right now. Obviously, Giannis. Trey Young is like, hey, I did help this team upset two teams in the Knicks and the Celtics to get to the Eastern Conference Finals.
The Sixers. Knicks and the Sixers.
Knicks and the Sixers, yeah. And I want to get back to that. So he's gonna be frustrated, but in terms of him leaving, that ain't gonna happen.
Okay, so we ain't got Trey leaving. We got more Nate McMillan. I ain't mad at that. Who the hell will be their coach though? That's the only thing I don't know. I would like it to be Sam Cassell or something.
Yeah, I like that. I like Sam Cassell.
I just don't know who would be their coach though. I don't know. Hope it all work out. I thought Nate McMillan was going to do something special with that team. Not gonna lie to you, when he got the job March 1st. When he got the job March 1st, they was like the 10th seed. He got them all the way down to like the 5th seed, I think it was. 5th or 4th, I forgot. One of them 2 seeds, I was like, damn, he did a hell of a turnaround. But it seemed like he lost the spark.
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely.
But I mean, hell, we was saying the same thing about Ime Udoka last year around this time. And then he turned that shit around after January. So it's always time.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah.
But defensively, they had to tighten up. That's you saw that the Celtics doing. And I mean, Celtics, they'll be a force to be reckoned with. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I like Memphis though. I like Memphis a lot.
See. They be throwing me off.
Oh.
Now they be throwing me off with the way Ja talking.
I mean, you got to talk big. Can't be cocky.
It's like you ain't won nothing.
Oh man.
You talking about you fine in the West. Y'all it was a little scary with the Timberwolves. If Cat wasn't, I mean, if Cat was that guy, y'all would have got bounced out.
Cat ain't that guy.
Well, I'm just saying if they really played a dog, they would have been bounced out.
And then they looked at it, they like, we lost to Golden State. Well, we lost to Golden State after I got injured.
I'll give you that.
Like we really took the champions. The way he feel, we really took the champions, prior to their best series. And then I got injured.
That's a good point. And again, he is, I mean, I think Ja maybe like 20, 23, maybe 22. Hey, he gonna tuck his ish. I be feeling myself. I be feeling myself. I've been talking my ish, but so I get that, but I like him to just let your basketball do the talking, because right now I can't see anyone that's playing better as the point guard right now than Ja Morant.
No, I can't see nobody playing a better 2 guard right now than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yeah. Clippers. They're gonna regret that.
I don't know. Well, they definitely gonna regret. They gave up too many picks, so yeah, you might be right. Yeah. Too many picks. Like, not only is Shea balling, but you gave up too many picks. Like, I think you don't have a first round draft pick to 2026 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too many.
And they needed this.
And there's too much good talent coming out right now. Too much good talent coming out right now. Like Victor Wembanyama came out of the blue. But there's some guys that in 2020 you knew was going to be coming out in a couple years.
Yep.
But I'm hyped to see the rest of this. We got this Christmas Day game. That's probably the last thing we're gonna talk about. It's a bunch of games, but I'm talking about the Sixers and the Knicks, and I think it's in Madison Square Garden. I doubt if it's here. How do you feel about it? Knicks are actually, I think they don't want 8 out of their last 10. So
yeah, I mean, Jalen Brunson, and the Knicks, they actually blew the socks off the Warriors. That's funny.
yeah,
I bet on that game. I bet on that game. Not Jalen Brown, RJ Barrett. He had 18 points, but they were up by like 40 points. So I was like, at that point, they weren't about to put him back in. But the Knicks, they're definitely on their way a little bit. I still think a guy like Tom Thibodeau. I don't really like him as a coach. I feel like they can get somebody younger, more offensive mind with that team.
Defense don't be always working either.
Yeah, so Jalen Brunson is definitely, stepped up. Yeah, I bet you Luke is looking at this like y'all traded away, or not traded away, but y'all didn't lock in a guy who is averaging 20 and 6 right now. Like, he is snapping. But nonetheless, I think the Sixers will get the W.
Yeah, that would have been nice though.
Yeah.
Luka, Spencer Dinwiddie, Jalen Brunson, Tim Hardaway, and they got Wood. Yeah, shit. They might have ran away. You might wow.
There's some right there.
That is something to think about. Wow.
And I mean, who else? I mean, with the Sixers, yeah, I'm loving the way that Tobias Harris is playing. Speaking of him earlier, that win against Detroit, 17 points. So Embiid is going to do him. I expect Embiid to have a monster game. I'm trying to look and see if it's at Madison Square Garden, especially if it's at Madison Square Garden. I expect
it's the Mecca.
I expect Joel Embiid to have a monster game.
50.
And he's definitely with Embiid, he's definitely underrated and underlooked, in my opinion. Because
you know why he's underlooked.
Because they don't like him.
Got the Joker putting up 40, 27, and 13. Like, you get Embiid, he put up 50, 13 rebounds, and 4 assists.
Bro, Embiid putting up 32, 10 and 5, basically.
All right.
In defense. I mean, I know
he's better defensively.
Yeah. I just feel like, I mean, you can't not Jokic. They are number one. They're number one seed in the West. So he's MVP right now. I can't even. I can't even.
Right. That's why he's overlooked. Exactly why.
But they were saying that like Anthony Davis, bro. Anthony Davis. I'm like, come on.
I'm not saying he better. He had a stretch though. He had a stretch.
And they like, oh, he's better than Embiid. I'm like, Embiid been doing this for the past 2 years, and y'all don't say nothing. This man literally got like 50 piece, like 57 or something like that.
Right.
I didn't hear anything. I'm like, can the big man get some love? Yes, Jokic is amazing. All right, look. But here's the difference between Jokic and Embiid. Jokic has had help in the playoffs. The only season that Embiid has really had help in the playoffs was
Jimmy.
The Jimmy year. And they would have, and look, they went to game 7 against Kawhi, and he ended up, getting the luckiest shot in NBA history. They lost that, but if that goes another way, if it's a make or miss league, if he misses that and they win it in overtime, they have a really good shot of winning the championship with Golden State, and their injuries to KD and Clay. So talk about last year. Harden was not on his, like, he was folding. I think partly he wasn't all the way healthy. He had his legs under him, but he did fold too. Like, two things can be true. He did fold too. And the years with Ben Simmons, 2021, Ben Simmons was the reason they lost against the Hawks. So other year, injuries. So I want to see a playoff where Embiid has a guy that he can actually rely on. And heck, if it's not James Harden, then I pray that Tyrese Maxey can be that guy. And he might be a year or two away, but
man, we ain't got that much longer to wait.
This
gotta work. This gotta work this year.
Yeah, it's gotta work because it's gotta work this year. If it don't work this year, then
they're gonna blow it up.
They're gonna blow his ass. It's just no. They're gonna keep Embiid, but they're gonna keep Embiid, but they got this. Keep everybody Embiid and Maxey. Chip everybody else. I ain't gonna lie. But Morey not take it back. Morey not gonna trade hard not after 1 year. Nah.
I don't think he's gonna trade Harden at all. He lives and dies by Harden.
He's not gonna do that. He's not gonna do
that. But is there anything else you want to say?
I think last point. Let me talk about the Dion stuff. I don't know if you want to talk about that.
We gotta talk about Dion. Let's get that out the way. Now, what are your feelings on Coach Prime? I'm sorry, let me make this Coach Prime.
Yeah, so with Coach Prime, as an HBCU student, Tim Morehouse in Atlanta, love my HBCU. I'm a journalist for Morehouse School newspaper, the Maroon Tigers. So I cover the football team, the basketball team, all the sports. I help assign people to different articles and all that. So I have like a special love for HBCUs and HBCU sports in general. So I was very disappointed. I was very disappointed. And again, I see the other side where it's like it's not Dion's fault or it's not Dion's responsibility to save HBCUs, but you can't tell me that this isn't a step backwards in terms of, all right, Dion, I get that he wants to, I think ultimately get to the NFL and he wants to level up and, he's worried about himself, which a lot of people are. And most people you can't expect them to lead a revolution. But I feel like Dion was acting like he was about to lead the revolution of HBCU sports. Now, it was our fault for kind of believing that and thinking that a high-profile coach could, switch the whole landscape of HBCUs. But what he did put a lot of spotlight on HBCUs, and they did something that I never thought they could do, and it's get a number 1 recruit. And my biggest problem, and I'll stay on this to this day, is that how could you basically have Travis Hunter come here and then he doesn't get drafted? Oh, he doesn't get drafted coming from Jackson State. That's I just wish he would have stayed up until maybe Travis Hunter's junior year. Again, I don't know necessarily what has happened internally that may
I
have
don't.
caused them
I
to leave.
I can't sit here and tell you that I know exactly what happened. Like I was there and I witnessed it myself. But there are reports out there that says that. And I've seen Dion. And I seen this interview first, right? Let me get this out the way. I was watching Earn Your Leisure when Dion was on there, and I heard him talking about, well, I'm supposed to get, our football team is supposed to get a piece of the money when we sell out the stadium. Selling out the stadium is 60,000 people. He said, I see the stadium full, 60,000 people. I go look at the tickets, it say only 28,000 tickets were sold. So I'm not, in my head, I'm hearing him saying this, but I'm thinking he's talking about other HBCUs. I don't think that he's talking about that they stopping him from getting this money. He also was supposed to get some of the TV contract money to go towards the football team. He was supposed to get some of the bowl game money. No, not the bowl game, but some of those bowl game and those classic game money. He didn't get none of that. Now, he didn't want it for him. He wanted it for the team. So they can do things that they need to do to get better as a team.
Thanks.
But the president or interim president, whoever he is, went there and, he took over that part, took the money. And he also said that he wanted his name in lights, just like Dion's name's in lights. Now, supposedly, I heard that president ain't there no more. I don't know how true that is. I don't know what it is about. But you got to sit back and think. He did all of that only making $300,000 a year. That's another thing. And he got to split that money up with his coaches.
I understand that.
Man, I don't think it was the money. I think it was the disrespect. Like, if they would have did the things that he said do, I don't think he would have never left Jackson State. But being the fact that they didn't do the things that he said do, it was time for him to go look elsewhere.
I
don't think he's gonna stay in Colorado.
No. He's looking. When I do,
you want me to tell you where I think he's going after that Colorado?
NFL.
They'd be right down there with you in Atlanta. The Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, that's
He'd be right down there. That's the only place. That's the only place got his name in the ring on him.
And here's the smart part about what Dion did, though. He went to the worst team in the conference. At first, I'm like, man, for him, this is smart. Now, for the bigger picture, I don't like it. But for him, strictly, this is smart, and I'll say why. You go to the worst team in the Pac-12. You're about to get the best recruiting class Colorado has ever had, just because you're Deion Sanders, Coach Prime. And now, y'all was already at rock bottom. The only way is up. So if y'all even get like 6 games, be like, oh, y'all went from 1-11 to 6-6, 7-6. If you have a winning season and maybe compete for the Pac-12 championship, they could be looking at Dion like, oh, he's a very good coach.
They're going to.
And I was at the Celebration Bowl where Jackson State played. They played North Carolina Central, and I saw the Celebration Bowl last year with Jackson State and South Carolina State.
Right.
And both Celebration Bowls, Dion got out coached.
Right.
So
both of them.
Yep. And I don't think he's the best X's and O's guys at all. I think he's one of the best, if not the best recruiter.
I think he's the best recruiter, and I think he's a leader of men.
Yes.
And that's what you need as a head coach, best recruiter and leader of men.
And then
X's and O's guys is what you put around you. I do believe he knows the ins and outs and what to do and how to study film and what he needs to do to get better and better. But probably situational football is where he's not strong at. I
Yeah,
can't sit there and say that's a yes or no, but that's probably where he's not strong at. But as you can see, with his coaching tree right now and his coaching mates, he got those guys in place, man. He got some guys over there, man.
yeah,
Got some names with him, man. He listen. And the thing that you were saying about the Colorado situation, I sat back and looked at it. I said, Colorado ain't been to a bowl game since 2006. Anything Deion Sanders do for this team is going to be thank you. We needed you.
yeah.
Like
Yeah,
it's
man.
there's a no lose here. Like you got your son coming in as the coach. I mean, as the quarterback. You got Travis coming in. He's going to play wide receiver and D-back. Like this right here is you just need to win in the trenches. That's the hardest part. You need to win in the trenches. But teams that you're going to play, Utah, most of them are seniors. Your biggest game is going to be against USC. That's going to be your biggest game because they're going to want to see how does Shador line up against Caleb.
Yep.
They're going to see is he Heisman ready? That's what they're going to. That's going to be the back and forth talk. But UCLA, that's another one that you should win. What's another team I was just saying I was in there? I think it was it Oregon? Oregon.
No, this definitely puts.
I got them with 8 wins. I got Prime getting 8 wins in his first season and going to a bowl game.
I think they'll get 6. But I think they'll definitely bowl game.
Yeah, I think it's 8. How many wins you need to get a bowl game?
Yeah, maybe like 9.
All right. Well, if it's 9,
It's around there. It's around there. I mean,
if it's 9, then I don't know.
But I think that on the next at the next level though, and here's why I think he'll probably stay at Colorado for a good number of years. If he's able to get his son drafted, then he's done his job. He's done his job. And I believe if he gets his son drafted, he'll get a head coaching job in the NFL. I think that'll go hand in hand. I'm not saying like, they're gonna be on the same team. I'm just saying if Deion gets his son drafted, that means that Colorado and Shador are playing exceptional, or at least Shador is playing exceptional. And I do think Colorado would have to at least be in contention for a bowl game. Maybe not win it, but at least be in contention. But still, again, like you said, that's a win. Strictly for Deion Sanders. Now, my problem is the bigger picture in getting HBCU athletes to HBCUs, but strictly for Deion.
Now, I'm sorry. Let me go back to why I was saying why I think this is still going to work for HBCUs. A lot of people are saying, he left the blueprint at Jackson State. He did. Another thing he's going to do at Jackson State, he's going to have Jackson State come play Colorado, so that way he can put more money into Jackson State.
Oh, you think that?
Yeah, that's how they do it. You know how UCLA and all them, they went and played them HBCU schools and only gave them like $500,000, whatever. I think he's gonna give them like $2 million.
If he do that, real money. If he do that, I will have. He will have my respect. I'm not calling him. I never called him a sellout, but he will gain a lot of my respect if he ends up doing that. Yeah,
he gonna end up doing it. That's the way to do it. That's one of them 8 wins. To be honest with you. It's one of them 8 wins. That's why I said he's gonna get 8. But he's definitely gonna do it. And get that, and they're gonna get more money, and then he's gonna make sure the money goes to the team. That's just gonna be the difference, because he's gonna be able to control it. Because him and the AD and Coach TC, they all hand in hand. They still good friends. Like I said, he got something there that he touched, and like he said, is in good hands with Coach TC. So that's how I see that. So I see a lot of things that's positive about this, and I know a lot of people's mad at Coach Prime, but you know what I mean. Coach Prime is going to do some things. Like I said, it's going to be different.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What you gonna do
But
is you gonna do for himself.
well, besides coach, not my fault. Besides that, one of the last things I did want to say is, like I said, I'm glad that you're here. Glad that we finally got this together, man.
Definitely.
It's
Definitely.
been a long time. Uh, I got to bring you onto the side, June. So me and my co-host, the Chocolate Girl, we get you on in. We can interview you. We get to know everything. You know, why you started podcasting, what made you go into broadcasting, what made you actually, start writing. We need to know all that. So we definitely gotta get a time for that. But for right now, is there anything last word you got?
And I really just say, I appreciate you. For number one, give me the invite. And also just letting me, talk about Eagles, Sixers, Deion Sanders. Been a pleasure. Again, yeah, as I said in the beginning of the episode, definitely long overdue. And I appreciate all the support that you given my way as well. And
Always.
can't wait for this episode to get posted. Is it live or you got edited and all that?
It'll be live tomorrow.
Oh, I bet. And so if I got time on my hands, I'll definitely look to look to edit some stuff and post it on my thing too. That's okay with you. But I
No
definitely
problem.
appreciate this episode. And go Eagles. But beat Dallas this weekend.
Beat Dallas week. That's all it is. Gonna beat Dallas. God bless. Good night.